Hey guys, Josh Rhodes here with Agent Leads, Agent Spotlight Academy. Hope you're doing well. I have with me today one of our most enthusiastic, high velocity, and really down to earth guys, Mr. Liam O'Neill. And I want him to kind of help you grow your business today and teach us some things that he's been doing with the leads that we've been sending him and the brand that we've been helping him build in his local community. So Liam, thanks for being here. Welcome, man.
I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
So we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to kind of just quickly do a short interview with Liam here, and he's got some gold nuggets for us. So we're mining for gold today for residential real estate agents. Just real quick, Liam, tell everyone watching, like, just some of the results that you've gotten with us so far since you've been a member of our program.
So I've gotten well over 100 leads. I started back in, I want to say October. I took like a month and a half break. I was training for an Ironman, so I just put my focus there. I couldn't keep up with it with training.
Sure.
I've gotten a bit over 100 leads. Had, I want to say, like 40 or so showings, something like that.
Yeah.
Bit over a dozen closings. And I've gotten built up a pipeline of people, probably around a bit over 20 that will be active buyers. They just needed some kind of credit report where they've talked to the mortgage lender, they've put in the application.
Yeah, pipeline.
They want to buy a house. It's just you got
totally.
Yep. So then this winter I'll have like to 20, like another probably dozen or so who will be ready to buy a home. And then the remaining 10 or so will be springtime. And that number is still, evolving.
It's a snowball.
Yeah,
it snowballs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're watching this video and you don't understand lead generation, I know that at first glance, like, lead generation is like, yeah, I get a lead. You send me a lead. I generate a lead. But lead generation also is, what do you do with that lead, right? Like, and you might get a lead today that's not ready. I mean, even if you got a referral lead, a referral is probably not going to buy a house from you or sell a house with you for 90 days, right? You're not getting a commission check. So that snowball effect is a massive, like, mindset thing. What don't you think?
Absolutely.
So let's get into, like, the actionable side of how you get that snowball rolling real fast. Just so we know you're human and you come from good roots. Like, when you got out of college, what'd you do? How'd you get into this? Like, what was kind of the first train stop for you before you got into real estate?
So I got out of college. I majored in marketing, and I took a job in copier sales.
Yes.
And from when I first signed up, it seemed like a great job, and it taught me a lot about sales, but I realized how tough it was. And having never sold anything in my life before, I went from training about sales, learning the product, and then going in the field. And copier sales, if you're not familiar with it, when you buy a copier, you usually sign a lease for about 5 years. So I was cold calling people every day. That's what I did. And I'd walk in, either they had a person who they've used for 20 years, they're not moving, over saving like $3 or $4 a month.
Just brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just re-sign the lease and they come with a new copier, no problem. Or I'd walk in and say, well, we just signed one, come back in 4 years. Oh, we've got 2 years left. And then it was, oh, we've got 2 months left. You're like, okay, great. Like, I can start getting this process going. And then a week later they go, oh, thanks for the reminder. We set up a appointment with our current guys again. Thanks for reminding us. I'm like, okay, well, it wasn't really getting anywhere. And I always wanted to get into real estate. I had friends who was in real estate. And I found moves in real estate. So I saved up just enough money, and I got myself into the pre-licensing, took the test, and then almost ran out of money. Literally got down to like $100 before I closed my first deal. And then I got my first deal, probably about like 5 months in. 1 turned to 2, turned to 3, and started moving on. And that's when I realized, okay, if I learn how to market myself correctly, and really can progress with how to market me, I was really successful with it. And it was trying to find the right avenue to take. And with me, I knew I have a good social media background. I grew up on social media. I know how to present myself on social media. So I got in with you guys. And before I did, I tried doing Facebook myself.
Yeah.
And I would like send out like a open house flyer and like boost it on Facebook. And I'm like, oh my God, I got 10,000 views like all over the Middle Atlantic region. And no one showed up.
Right.
I lost a lot of money doing that. So I turned over some professionals here to help me out with it, and results have been fantastic.
That's awesome. Super encouraging. And I know everyone watching this show, this video, this interview, they want actionable advice from someone who kind of grew up in the social media world, and maybe they're, we have folks from all walks of life and ages, and some people have been in the industry for 24 years and they don't have the traction that you have. And I think what you're really zeroing in on is that you realize the importance of visibility and just being the agent that people think about, and follow up and follow through and follow back, as Ryan Serhant says. So I know that you've got a little system of your own, or maybe just some gold nugget tips. Maybe it's, Albert Einstein's system. But why don't you walk us through, when you get leads, what do you do? Help me close a deal here, Liam. What do I do when I get a lead from our program?
Sure. Now let's just, to start off, say it's a Tuesday afternoon at noon, right? And you get your phone, you get the text message, new lead for under 250 in whatever neighborhood you're in. And you go, great, I got a new lead. So you get their phone number, the name, email, great. You have a very brief window to contact them. Now, I'm not saying if you're in the middle of an appointment to cancel the appointment and call them.
Sure.
But the quicker you can get to them, the better. So let me ask you this question. If you spend a week, like Josh, what YouTube video did you watch last Monday at 3 o'clock?
Right.
I don't know.
No chance.
So when you call them, the quicker you can get a hold of them, they remember you. Yeah. So I get that lead, right? And I automatically call them. And a lot of people have that fear when they're like, I don't know if I want rejection. And that's one of the hurdles a lot of people have to get over is, someone either hanging up on you, saying no, whatever it may be. The worst they can do is just hang up the phone. And then you move on. And I know it sounds silly to say that, but people have that kind of fear. And I used to too. I really did. And then after you make a dozen phone calls, it goes away.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. So I get the lead. I make a phone call right away. And I treat almost everyone the same in this part of it. I give them a call and I say, hey, this is Liam O'Neill over at Patterson Schwartz Real Estate. I just received your information from my Facebook lead, or from my Facebook post about homes in Newark under 250. And what I always say is, I'm about to send over a list of homes, but I wanted to get an idea of really what you're looking for. Are you looking for like a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, ranch, split, colonial? What are you looking for? And that kind of thing gets people excited. They're like, oh yeah, I would really like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch.
Right, because humans want you to give them what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I go, okay, great. And depending how the conversation goes, I don't ask how expensive a home do you want to go? It's like, oh, I don't want to be over 200. I don't want to be over 250. What I ask is, how much a month would you want your mortgage payment to be?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, I want to be at, $1,300 a month. I'm like, okay, so I get an idea of where they want to be. And I'll give you an example of this, of why I learned the author here. Perfect example. So then I get that information. I will go to my computer, compile a list. And this is one avenue I'm going to talk about. This is the best case scenario. I compile a list. I send it over. Depending what time I send it over, if I send it over in the morning, I'll call them that evening. If I send it over in the afternoon, evening, I'll call them the next day. I'll call them the next day and say, hey, I sent over a list. Did you see anything you liked? And I try not to make the list super long.
Yeah.
Because if I send you over, 50 songs, for example, on Spotify, are you going to listen to all 50? No, you're not.
Sure.
You're going to listen to only a handful of them. So I'll send over no more than really like a dozen if there's that much with the market right now. And they may say, oh, I like this house and that house.
Yeah.
Now, I take that information and I put it back into the CRM. And I say, okay, this person liked this updated home. They liked how it had a garage. They liked how it had a fenced-in backyard. And make that note. And then I take them and I say, hey, like, do you want to schedule a showing at the property? And they'll say, yeah, let's go. And I'll schedule a time. And then we get moving along pre-approval process. And then clients, if some's ready to buy now, some's not. And that's when if they're ready to buy now, great, perfect scenario. If they go, well, I want to wait till the end of the school year, or I need to, okay, you pipeline them. And then others can go all around. I don't want to buy it all. I just, wanted to see it, or
Sure.
I'm not ready to buy for like 2 years, and you work with them.
But those are the qualification classes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to point out is this is best case scenario. And when I first got into it, I was going to think everyone's best case scenario, and that's not always true.
Right.
So I think I maybe had like 2 or 3 people that I got the lead and we were under contract by like within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It can get a little discouraging because everyone thinks, oh, best case scenario. Doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
You got to pipeline with people. And that's where the real avenue is. It's that following up with people, which takes me to my second avenue. I call them and say you got to pipeline them. Now you're in the follow-up business where you're calling them or emailing them or texting them. One thing I always do say, and I forgot to mention, was when I initially call people, either the first or second call, I always ask people, just for future references, is it easiest for me to call you, email you, text you? Is there a certain time?
That's great.
And some people go, yeah, give me a call whenever. I prefer text messages. I'm usually at work 9 to 5, or an email. Because what I learned real quick was that I was calling people at like 10:30 in the afternoon or the morning, 1:30 afternoon. I'm like, no one's answering their call.
Right.
Everyone's at work right now, and they're at a desk or something, or they just can't answer their phone.
Yes.
So by asking them, oh yeah, give me a text message, I can text you. That's something to.
You get their communication preference and timing and cadence.
Exactly. And then another avenue would be you call them, they can't answer right away, and people happen to give up on that. And I'd be lying if I told you I didn't give up on that when I first started.
Right.
Like I call them, they don't answer, and I moved on from it.
Sure.
And I looked at my leads and I said, you know what? Like I need to really start following up a bit more. And I got a good about 4 or 5 people from past leads where I just gradually followed up with them. They kept seeing my name in their inbox, a text message here and there. And you don't want to be overbearing. Like you don't want to call them every single day.
Right.
Then they're going to block you, and they don't want to work with you because you're too overbearing. But when you send them emails, they don't have to respond. They don't have to answer, but they see your name.
You become top of mind. Yeah.
Exactly. And what happens is, like, I had one client, for example, who I actually answered her phone like once or twice when I first got the lead. And this was after I called her like 7 or 8 times after like 2 months. And I kept emailing her follow-up. So I'd call her. I wouldn't leave a message, but the first time I did, I would email her and say, hey, I called you, just wanted to check in on whatever we had talked about that first time, or a different home. And I got a phone call one day from her. She goes, hey, Liam, I passed this home in Wilmington, which is the city where I'm working in. I saw a for sale sign out. Could you please tell me more information about it? That wouldn't have happened if she didn't see my name, Liam O'Neill, Realtor, in her email all the time. She probably would have called Zillow and got connected with someone right away and didn't know her open house.
Yes.
But she called me because I was the only agent she knew about. So being, I don't want to say, I guess, prevalent in someone's inbox is key. And now the other avenue, which is the frustrating avenue, it's when you get the lead, they don't answer ever, or they hang up on you. or, they're just mean. And that happens. It's, like I said earlier, I've gotten well over 100 leads. I've only closed like a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Some leads, you get the lead at 1:30 in the morning, and it's someone in their bed scrolling, I want a list of homes, sure. And that's when I continue to email them, and I get them into like a, what's it called? Like a CRM email where it boosts
long-term nurture. Yeah.
And like a nurture email. And you just continue with it. And if they don't want to message you back, they press unsubscribe.
Sure.
It's easy as that. The challenge that I faced first, and I would assume that a lot of people have too, is that discouragement. Because when I first got started, you go from this high of when you're like, oh my God, like I got a new lead service, I'm going to close great deals. And you go through like a dozen leads and you don't close anyone. You start getting discouraged over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But then you finally get one. And I didn't close my first deal, I didn't really close my first month because it takes like 30 days to close a deal.
Sure.
40 days. But I kept going and going and going. But then like when I was in like month 4, I had leads from month 1 who were already ready to close. And now that snowballed all the way down here.
Yes.
So now I'm working with, I want to say 4 buyers from Facebook. I want to say about 4 buyers from Facebook. Yeah. Who I had earlier this year.
Right. Yeah. It's just a long tail, like hockey stick growth. Yeah.
I wanted, 3 or 4 buyers, something like that, from just snowballed. And if I did not follow up with them months ago, I wouldn't have now. Now I'm getting leads today that I know they're not going to close
the
next month. However, I may get a lead, and I was talking to a lead earlier today. We have showing scheduled for next Monday. Who he was a lead from, I think probably like last month, earlier this summer, something like that.
Yeah, August. You just got off the phone with this lead, right? Before we jumped on.
He was looking for I serve in Maryland also. Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware. It's all, you can get everywhere in like a half hour.
Yeah.
He wanted a Chesapeake Bay home. And he saw my lead in Delaware. I was like, yeah, I want to go to Maryland. But I forget what I was going to say here. It snowballs is what I'm trying to get at here. It snowballs.
Yeah. It just starts to exponentialize and stack and stack and stack.
And that's the thing that I really realized was, okay, today I'm planning not just for today or next week or next month, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line. And I'm going to be real happy come December when the market did, less buyer activity. And I had leads from the summer that are now ready to buy, and they're pumped up because their credit got boosted up. They're ready to buy, and I'm really setting myself up for months down the line. And that's really the mindset you have to have, is not every lead you're going to close or you get today, you're going to close today, but you may close them 6 months down the line, and you'll be happy 6 months down the line when you still have leads that you've pipelined.
I think that's huge. And I think, Liam, while everything you said is super actionable and tactical and strategic and like really juicy, good, like handlebars that people can hold on to, I think everybody watching this needs to understand that Liam's really got the mindset of a business owner more than anything else. Like, he's an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, and real estate agents and brokers and realtors are entrepreneurs. And for if you're thinking about trying to eat tomorrow, lead generation, especially online, which is today's world that you live in, unfortunately. If you're trying to think about tomorrow's food today with today's leads, you're going to get frustrated even more. But if you start thinking about the long term and you feed your business leads that will close, like Liam's got his pipeline pumping. So you've closed 12 to 20 deals off of a couple $100 in Facebook ads, a few hundred. Yeah, so it's the ROI and the return on ad spend is incredible when you have those avenues of follow-up in place like Liam has. So if you've watched this video, watch it again. If you haven't taken notes, I took notes while Liam was talking, and I do this all the time. We serve thousands of agents all over North America, and Liam is just one of those who's willing to follow up, and take action.
That's huge.
And think like a business owner.
You
Liam, final thoughts. Sum it up right now in 30 seconds or less. If I'm watching this and I'm either a rookie agent or an agent that feels like they're, petrifying and they've been in the industry too long and they want momentum again, what's your momentum advice right now?
Momentum advice. I can't express it enough. I know you've touched base on it, is the follow-up game you have to have. If you don't have a follow-up game and the follow-up game and positive mindset, because you can get really discouraged really fast if you don't have a positive mindset. And you never know what that next lead is. Because what I did in my first month, I would get rejected as like a lead or two and like not answer the third lead right away. You never know what's behind the next door. If you have that positive mindset and you continue to follow up, you will be successful and you will pipeline and you will be eating, like you said, 5-6 months down the line. Positive mindset, follow up, you'll be successful with it.
I love that. And Liam's in our program, like we said, and we have a framework that Liam is saying without saying it, which is ABC: attract traffic, build the list, convert sales, rinse and repeat. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. It's not the Apple iPhone innovation of the industry. It just works. It's the blocking and tackling of real estate sales. Liam, congrats on your progress and your success, and we are honored to have you in our program, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
If you're watching this video and you want to experience what Liam's experiencing and you want some momentum and you want to just add 2, 3, 4, 5 more deals per month to your business, click on the link in and around this video. We'll be happy to help you. Liam, again, thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.